Right, I'm just going to wait for you all to come along and then we'll start because I want to have a chat first. So, just waiting. Hello, Stacey. By the way, just while we're waiting, I'm going to show you. It's nail varnish, is a nail varnish I got from Zara. And it's very good, and they're $5.95. Hello, Bushra. $5.95 each, and very good. Not really chipped much at all. So check them out. Zara nail varnishes, very good quality. Right, just wait for a couple more to join, because I'm going to do things slightly different today. I want to start by having a chat to everyone about a particular subject, but also about my experience. And then I'm going to do the makeup second, if that's okay. So I think a few of you have joined. Now, I wanted to bring up, hello, Lucy. Right, hello, everyone. Now, while I'm talking, just to say, I normally say hello to you all as you're joining, right? But please excuse me that it's not really a rant. No, it's not really a rant at all. But I do want to have a chat. So I'm going to stop looking at the comments now, right? Because while I'm talking, please chat amongst yourselves. But I want to concentrate on what I'm saying. And I don't want to get sort of taken off topic by what I'm saying. So don't think I'm ignoring any of you, because I'm just going to talk. But please, I love it when you all chat amongst yourselves. It's great. Now, as you know, I've been doing lives for quite a while now. And on a few occasions, more than a couple of times, people have contacted me either during the live or after the live, saying that they felt left out or they felt that they were being ignored. Now, there are people who have contacted me recently and said this, and I really do not want anyone to feel singled out. And that's why I'm covering this topic generically. Because the problem is if you deal with individuals, then they'd actually, I'm going to talk about this a bit more later, but they're actually going to feel even more left out by you reassuring them individually. It's sort of a perverted way of actually making something come true, if you get what I'm saying. But before I get into all of that, I want to talk about my experience of feeling left out during my life, because I can really relate to this and really empathize, and I just wanted to talk to you about that. So I just saw Ali will not be reading your message. I'm not reading any messages at the moment, okay? So just bear with me, because I just want, please chat amongst yourselves, but I don't want to get off topic. Right, so I need to set the scene to tell you about my experience, because it probably wouldn't make much sense talking about it today, because things are very different today to the way that they were in the 1970s when I was a child. So I need to set the scene. So I was born, as you know, with a disability, and that disability was very apparent when I was born. I had lots of surgery, etc., etc. Now, the thing was that in the 1970s, things were very different in terms of education. And if you had any disability, such as spina bifida, it was expected that you would not attend a normal mainstream, whatever you want to call it, mainstream school. It was expected that you would go into a special school. Now, there is a problem with special schools in that they were mixed with people that had learning disabilities, people that had physical disabilities, and actually to the extent that the expectations were not high. There was no national curriculum expected of people that had disabilities. And a friend of mine who has spina bifida went to one of these schools and actually told me that he wasn't taught to read and write until he was 16. Now, my mum was a health visitor, and she was a health visitor and a midwife. And please, if anybody's joining and not knowing what's going on or why I'm ignoring them, can you just talk amongst yourselves and explain what I've just said at the beginning? I'd be really grateful. Right. So basically it was expected that I was going to go to one of these special schools, but my mum, being a health visitor, wasn't having any of it. Not having any of it whatsoever. And she fought tooth and nail for about 2 years, right, to make sure that I went to a mainstream school and got a proper education. And she had all sorts of unbelievable barriers. And I'm going to name some names. Probably won't ever watch, but I don't care if they do. Lacey Halford, my infant school headmistress, and Mrs. Tilsley, made life absolute hell for my mother and for me, because they were adamant that I should not be in a mainstream school. So tried to make out that I was cognitively impaired to such a degree that I was pulling everyone else down. I kind of stumped that, didn't I, Mrs. Tilsley, if you ever watch, by asking you what a runcible spoon was after reading The Owl and the Pussycat at the age of 5. Didn't quite go with your theory. And then my mum got an educational psychologist in who did an assessment on me and then said, you're quite right, she is not performing the same as her peers. She's actually 3 years ahead of them. So that scuppered their plans. Now, fortunately, my junior school and my senior school were a little bit more tolerant. And by that time, I'd already paved the way and been at a mainstream school. So I was able to go to a mainstream primary school, secondary school, and then having been told that I would never ever achieve anything by Mrs. Lacey Halford, I then went on and got not only a degree, but a master's degree and another postgraduate. So take that, Mrs. Halford. I am angry about it, very angry about it. Now, what this meant though, and this is why I had to set the scene, is I was, in my primary school and infant school, the only disabled person at school. There was none of the inclusion stuff that we have today, none of it. And kids were used to disabled people being kept away, completely kept away, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So kids, being what they are, kind of avoided me a lot of the time. And I was often completely, there were years that I was completely left out of the group altogether. There were also, I remember in the senior school, when one of the really popular kids held a birthday party and hired a hall and invited the whole year, I was one of the 3 that wasn't invited. And I was in that group of 3, and I'm talking about the other people in that group kind of wanted to be left out. I'll give you an example of one of them. And Lucy, if you're listening, is going to know exactly who I'm talking about, and it's going to make her laugh. But one of the kids that wasn't invited along with me to these cool parties was a boy that used to come to school in a bow tie. And he used to he said he was a wizard, and he used to make potions. And if anyone was mean to him, he'd put a curse on them. That's the kind of person I was grouped along with. when it came to being invited to the cool parties. So I had to work really, really hard. And I decided the way to go about sort of being part of the gang was to, okay, if I'm going to be different, let's be different for a good reason, for a cool reason, you know. And I basically, my love of music, I started up a band, I wrote music, I then pulled together a band, and I was the cool kid that was in a band and wrote songs. And actually, years later, one of my schoolmates said, I remember you as the SWAT of the class that was the form captain who was really good at music and walked with a limp. But the walk with a limp was the last thing, and she didn't even know I had spina bifida. I had to work hard to get to that point. Okay, really did. But it's not been easy, because throughout my life, even today, and I had to think about this, it got me thinking about this feeling left out, and I had to talk about it with you all. And if I'm really honest, I wanted to talk about things recently, because it's not all about I triumphed and now I fit in. It's not at all. I still get really, really anxious about going out. This is something I don't talk about. I probably come across as a very confident person, but particularly since I have had to use a mobility scooter. Now, you all know, a lot of you that have been following me for a while know that I went to the Charlotte Tilbury launch, and I talked about how wonderful it was and how I got to meet Charlotte Tilbury. But there was bits of that I didn't talk to anybody about. And part of it is about what makes me really anxious about going out. So I just wanted to share with you. Now, imagine the scene. I've been invited to Charlotte Tilbury's launch of her foundation, and I arrive at the venue. It's a hot summer's day, and the venue is crowded, completely crowded, packed to the brim with people that she's invited to launch this foundation. There were no seats anywhere. There were just lots of makeup counters everywhere, and packed to the brim as you go in the door. And I am literally the only one at seat height. Just imagine that scene. I'm the only one sitting down. Everybody is about a foot above me, and there were models there. They were about 6'2", all standing above my head, talking about Charlotte Tilbury's new launch with one another. I can hardly go in there and start chatting to people. They're all literally crowded above my head. And I immediately felt the odd one out, the one that was left out. Then somebody comes and spots me from Charlotte Tilbury and says, oh, follow me. I'm gonna get you so that you can see Charlotte Tilbury. So she's like, out the way, everyone, out the way. And everybody turns to stare at me. Everyone. As the crowds are being parted around me. Again, I'm the odd one out. But not for a great reason. Not because I've got the most stunning face or figure in the world, but because I'm the one that's on a mobility scooter. Everyone back up. So I was literally led to the front with the waves parting around me to stand right at the front so that I could see Charlotte Tilbury. And as much as nobody wanted to complain about the disabled woman that arrived there just as Charlotte was about to come on stage, when they'd been there for 2 hours making sure that they were at the front, you could see that kind of smile through gritted teeth that I was right at the front of all of them. Again, feeling left out. The positive things about feeling left out were that suddenly Sophia Tilbury goes, Ali! And that's the positive thing, is that even though I was the only one sitting down, it also identified me to Sophia Tilbury. So for everything that makes me feel very self-conscious and very much like I don't fit in, actually being able to be recognised by Sophia Tilbury was a really good part of it. So there is a flip side to it, definitely. But I definitely wasn't chatting to anyone. I wasn't able to kind of go through the crowds and say, what do you think of the foundation? They were all above my head. And that's why I still, to this day, get anxious about going out, because I do not know whether or not it's going to be accessible, whether they're going to have to come out and make a special thing about opening a door for me. And I do not want to feel like the left out person. I want to be part of the crowd. I do not want to be identified as the one with the disability. I don't mind being part of being something different because I run a YouTube channel, or something different because I'm good at makeup. I don't mind that. But I don't want to be identified as, oh, look, here's the one with the... It just takes me back, and it triggers me back to those days that I was at school feeling the left one out. Now, I'm sure as you're all listening to this, it rings bells with all of you. I'm sure we've all had situations in our past where we felt like the odd one out, and certain things trigger us. And one of the things will be being in a group and being in the alley pallies. And I am so painfully aware of that with my experience that I've got to make a confession to you that in recent weeks, I've not really enjoyed doing my live, and that's going to stop. I've not really enjoyed doing my live because I would not want anyone to come on here and feel like they were left out. And when someone says, I feel like you weren't seeing my messages or you were leaving me out, I feel mortified, absolutely mortified. So I'm going to say something now because I just want to reassure you all, and I want to be done with it. I'm in a tricky situation. I don't have 100,000 subscribers. If I had 100,000 subscribers, and I did chat to Rebecca about this, and thank you, Rebecca, for your thoughts, because she made a very good point. If I had 100,000 subscribers and I was doing a live, no one would expect me to see all their comments. No one. And they wouldn't take it personally if I didn't. And if I had 10 subscribers, I would probably be able to keep up with the comments. But I am in that middle ground where I've got 2,100, where things still feel, and which is lovely, still feel very friendly and very much like everybody knows me and can relate to me. And therefore the expectation is that I'm your friend, I'm going to reply. And if I don't, then maybe I've got a problem with you. So let me reassure you, I cannot keep up with all the comments on here while I'm doing my makeup. Now, it could be, if that's what people want, I could do a separate live where it's just like I'm doing now, chatting with Ali, and I can actually just keep a lookout. But I can't put on the makeup and keep up with all the comments. But what I can say to you is, and my sister, if you're watching Lucy still, you will confirm this. If I'm the sort of person, my sister has grown up with me for the last 52 years. My sister will tell you what I'm like. If I have a problem with you, I wouldn't be blanking you. I'd let you know about it. And in fact, if you were a person that I had a problem with, I wouldn't blank you. I'd block you. You wouldn't be on the live, right? So be reassured. And I love every one of you that takes the time out of your day to join me on a live discussion. The fact that I am humbled that you have joined me live on a discussion. So please, please, I'm just begging you now, if I'm so painfully aware that I'm stressed about missing out your comments, but just please be aware that I am not doing it deliberately. If it seems like it's only you that are missing out, it could be something really random, like I'm turning my face or I'm putting on mascara at the time. It is not. There are triggers that we all get triggered by, but I love you all. And if I didn't, I would block you. Okay? So I hope that's clear. Now I'm going to say a quick hello to all of you. I'm desperate to see what your comments are, but I'm not going to be able to keep up with them all. And that's the last time I'm going to say it. And I just hope, please do also, if I'm not responding to you, please, I encourage you. The one thing I love about this community is that you all chat amongst yourselves, that I've created by starting my channel, the most wonderful community of people that chat to one another and get support. And you now all follow one another on Instagram, independent of me. And I could get really jealous about that and start feeling left out. But I remind myself, I pull myself in and say, no, that's because of me. So there you go. All right. I'm really glad that I've got all of that off my chest. And I'm sorry if it was very long-winded as usual. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to look back. I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to get drawn in again to reading all the comments. I'm going to look back at all your comments afterwards because I can actually look at the live comments afterwards. And I hope it just gives you an idea about my story and why I am really painfully aware, and I do completely understand why people might feel like that and why I've been overcompensating to try and put that right. But I can't do it. I can't do it for everyone. Someone's going to feel left out. So you need to understand that I'm not deliberately leaving anyone out. Okay, enough. I am now going to get on to some makeup. And I am going to do something that I've been doing a lot recently because my pigmentation, as you can see, is going, hello, hello. I'm going to put on my new favourite at the moment, which is, you got it, Estee Lauder. Yes, Nina, education consultant. Your area of expertise. I bet you've got a few things to say about what I've just said, Nina. Right. I'm going to put on my Estee Lauder Super Duper Maximum Cover foundation because it's so quick and easy and it covers all my pigmentation. And Bridget, you were saying how great my skin is looking. This is why. I will never claim that, oh yes, it's just my skin when it's actually makeup. I haven't forgotten to do my birthday haul. That is coming next. I hope you enjoyed Lucy's, you bought that after I recommended it. What, the Estee Lauder one? How are you finding it? It's excellent coverage. It is. Do you know what? I saw a very old film of Charlotte Tilbury making up this woman before she had her own makeup line. And I was so intrigued to watch it because I was really intrigued to watch it because I wanted to see what makeup Charlotte Tilbury chose before she was pushing her brand. And this was one of the things that she had in her kit, this maximum cover, and she used it as concealer. And I believe, now this might be me just imagining this, so don't completely take my word for it, but I believe, am I imagining this? I'm going to say it. I'm pretty sure that this is what she used on Kate Moss's lips before Nude Kate came out, you know, to get that very nude look. She definitely mixed concealers and all sorts and lipstick to get the look. And I believe that this is what she used to mix with the lipsticks to get that very nude lipstick that she then created as Nude Kate. but she definitely had it in her kit. So it was probably what she used, because she said she used it as a concealer. She didn't bother with concealers, she just used this. That's true, I can confirm that. What about me having a problem with you that you know about it? My sister can definitely confirm that. She's been on the receiving end of it many a time. If only we did send you to Coventry. You're not interested in the CT bronzer. Now, another thing I wanted to tell you is I have got a consultation this afternoon from the lovely makeup artist that did up Nina on Instagram. Do you remember that one? And Nina contacted me and said, oh, she's got appointments. I've got an appointment with her at 4. And I thought, let's do the consultation. Nina, remind me of her name. Oh, thank you, Nina. She says that you've met some amazing humans. Charlotte has turned a lot of people off. Don't forget to check your dashboard for a free item on CT. You love the phrase. Now, do you know what I only realised recently? This phrase, sending people to Coventry, is a UK phrase. Because I remember talking to Rebecca, not about any of the Ali Pallies. We were having a chat, a personal chat. And I talked about sending people to Coventry, and she didn't. I realised from her response, she didn't realise. She took me literally as actually I was sending somebody over to the town of Coventry. And I had to explain that it means that you're not speaking to someone. Sending them to Coventry means that you blank them. You're not talking to them. You've been to Coventry before. Right, now, I have to correct the jaundice look by putting on my MAC NW25. And thank you to, I'm always going to get her name wrong. Nikki's sister. Chapman, Sam Chapman, for acknowledging my post where I thanked her. I thanked her for this tip. Getting the pink back into my skin by using an NW. So I'm waiting for my consultation with Nina's makeup artist this afternoon. What's her name, Nina? Has Nina already replied? Nina, what was the makeup artist's name that did you up? Lena. And that's right, and her Instagram is Lena on Film. So I've got a consultation with her at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I thought, why not? Why not? Now, my experience of doing a virtual consultation is not great, because I always get promised that you're going to get money off, but they never send it to me. And the 15% that they promise you is for new customers only. But we shall see this afternoon. Hopefully that experience will be different. But I'm definitely going to I'll probably end up getting 2. I'll listen to what she says, but I'll probably end up getting 2, because you know that in the winter, I am a shade 2 in the airbrush bronzer, and in the summer, I'm a shade 3. So I'm probably going to end up getting 2 to try. And I'm definitely very keen to try this bronzer. I do think, though, I do agree with some people. I think we're being saturated by new ideas by Charlotte Tilbury. And some people are getting a bit sick. But I think in the middle of the new ideas is often a bit of a treasure. Do you remember about a year ago? Because, my memory for Charlotte Tilbury, I don't remember names. But I do remember events. Charlotte Tilbury, about a year ago, started bringing out all sorts of different lip products. She brought out that weird clear lipstick that was supposed to change a different colour on everybody, except it didn't. Remember the clear lipstick? And then she brought out the lip stains that, you know what I thought about those, because I chucked them behind my back. And she brought out all sorts of different lip products, and we were like, all of these new things, the new this, the new that. And then in the middle of it, she released Fire Rose. And that was the gem. And I'm looking for that gem. And I think, I don't know, but I'm hoping that the bronzer might be the gem. But I will give you my, my absolutely unbiased opinion. You hated those pH lipsticks. She will give people 15% off regardless. Brilliant, Nina. Well, I'm hoping so. That lipstick looked the same on everyone. Exactly. The pH lipstick was the same on everyone. Right, I'm going to use, because talking of new products, and Charlotte Tilbury bringing out lots of new products recently, I almost forgot about this until my sister asked to look at it the other day. And I thought, oh yes, where is that? By the way, I said at the beginning, brilliant, Zara nail varnish, $5.95. They've got about 30 shades, and it's very good, and it doesn't flake very quickly. This one is called Pastel Green. Love it. What free product did you choose? I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to come back to Stacey's DM before I put in my order. Now, I'm going to start off, but I've got, this is the new thing. You see, I get caught up in your conversation, and then I forget what I'm going to say next. Thank you, Aisha. Now, you loved the video of me tossing the CT products you dislike behind my back. Where you put the foil on, and I'd love to try that too. But I'm just worried I'd never get it off. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to gel. You got Karina Star. Oh, that's Karina Star's lovely. Right. Anyway, you see. Now, let me just get back to what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to do a separate regular slot where we just chat with Ali, because I'm actually feeling the one that's left out. You're all having a great chat amongst yourselves. That's great, Nina. Right. Now, this came out very recently, but I'd almost forgotten about it because of all the other new products. And this is Pillow Talk Dreams. And I thought, I fancy putting that on again today. But I'm going to put it on with the colour Chameleon underneath, so you can see what that looks like. And then I'm going to put... on my cheeks, I'm going to put on, instead of putting on Pillow Talk, I'm going to put on the Climax Blush, because what's very good is the Climax is often talked about if you've got dark skin. But actually, what I find is very good about the Climax Blush is you can also use it if you think of it as a bronzer come blush. You know, if that was marketed as a bronzer, you'd use it as a bronzer on, and so unless you've got really, really pale skin, in which case you could still get away with using it. And I've got Ecstasy. No, I did get it. No, it's here. This, now look, if that wasn't in a compact that said blusher, you would think that was a bronzer, wouldn't you? The outside swish. So I'm going to use that to remind people that you could actually use that as a blush and that as a bronzer. And I'm going to apply it so that this is the bronzer and this is the blush. If that was marketed just slightly differently, you would all accept that that was a bronzer and that was a blush. And you get 2 products in one. We're all trying to save money these days. It's a 2-in-1 without it being marketed as such. Fancy meeting you here. Who's Helen loves to laugh? Oh, lots of new people joining me today. I will say before I go, I will come and say hello to as many of you as I can see. Right, so I'm just putting on the Pillow Talk Colour Chameleon as a base, because that will help to powder to stick, but it will also go along with this Pillow Talk theme. And then I'm going to use this Pillow Talk Dreams eyeshadow. So first on in, I'm going to use the prime shade. The only thing about doing the consultation is I like to do the consultations without any makeup on, because it gives them a better idea of your skin colour. But never mind, I think I've adjusted my skin tone sufficiently enough to look like it's my skin tone. Helen is wonderful, good friend. Lovely to see you too, Rebecca. I heard her mention Rebecca in the background and I thought, it can't be the Rebecca. It certainly is the Rebecca. And a lot of the Ali Pallies here call her posh. Except I think she's posher than posh. If you're talking about Victoria Beckham as being posh, Spice, think of a posher version of posh. Right, I'm now putting on the enhanced shade. So this is Pillow Talk Dreams Quad. So what do you think the likelihood is, guys, of, you know, I don't normally get so controversial. The likelihood of Mrs. Tilsley and Lacey Halford watching my YouTube channel. It's only slander if it's not true. And my sister can vouch for the fact that it's true. Except she probably won't, because she's got a background in law. Takes a posh to know a posh. Oh, you got your your Chanel highlighter. Oh, well, I hope you're putting swatches on your Instagram, Stacey. Hello, Janelle. I don't know if the comments are being aimed at Rebecca or me right now. You said you really know how to put on makeup. And I thought, I was about to thank you there. And I thought maybe you're talking to Rebecca. And then I'm just going to look like a big head by saying thank you. Oh, Janelle, you're saying you. Thank you. Right, I'm now just using, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's the other thing you have to do when you've got a channel, is you have to learn to take a compliment. None of us are good at taking compliments, are we? Right, I'm now just putting the smoke shade. And I'm using it as a liner. Because the smoke shade of this palette is very light in colour. It is very like the the Pillow Talk eyeliner. So if you don't get on with her Rock and Coal formula, you don't have to. Just use the smoke shade of this palette and just put it on with a smudge brush, or even better, a liner brush. Thank you, Helen. So that is the liner, and then we've got this, what is it? She calls it a super pop. The super pop that it is now a powder formula and doesn't do anything if you actually rub it with your finger. It's not like the old style pop shades. The new pop shades she has are powders, whereas the old ones that she brought out in her original Charlotte Tilbury 10 iconic looks have got emollients in them. So the more you actually warm them up with your fingers, the more they actually popped. These are slightly different. I will put it on with my fingers, but you can equally put this on with a brush. It doesn't really make any difference because they're not the same. And to be quite honest, being devil's advocate, although I do like this palette, I'm not sure why she called that a super pop. Because the one that I would call a super pop is the one that's in what used to be called Dolce Vita and is now called the Bella Sofia. Now I'm going to take this one. I think I could just about get away with it. And put that. No. No, it's too pink. It's too pink to use as a highlighter under my brow. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'll just do a bit of that just to even out what I'm doing. I'll have to use something else as a highlighter. Right, let's use this Pillow Talk. This is the original Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand, not the medium one, the original one. And she re-released these recently with her new Pillow Talk products. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my finger and I'm going to put that up there. That's better. And I'm going to do under. I don't know about you guys, but there's one thing that I've always, ever since I started putting on makeup as a teenager, I never felt like I had a full makeup look on unless I'd highlighted under my brow bone. I know a lot of people do put makeup on and don't do that, but I never feel like the look's complete. And I'm just going to put a little bit in there, again with my little pinky. And because that super pop is not really a super pop, and I want, because I've got hooded lids, so I'm going to explain this again. When you've got hooded lids, this bit comes forward, and what you want is to make it look like it's further back than it is. So in order to do that, you make this dark and matte to make it look like it's further back than it is, and you bring this bit of the eye forward to make it look like it's a lot further forward than this bit. Does that make sense? So that's why I like to do this and put a highlighter. Can you see the difference that makes in terms of making that eye look less hooded? One little dab of highlighter and it just makes that look less hooded than that. Because it gives the impression that this bit is coming out further and therefore this bit has got to be further back. Right, that's the eyes done. I'm just going to do the mascara. Let's put on this. I'm going to put on this because I've been talking for a long time, as usual. I'll do the mascara afterwards, because I always think that watching someone put mascara on is like watching paint dry. So I'll do that afterwards, and I'll put the final look in the little thingy at the beginning of the video, and also on Instagram. Right, I am going to use now this. So this is the Climax Cheek to Chic. So for those of you that think that's too dark for me, I'm going to say let's use this in a different way. So instead of thinking of this as a swish and pop blusher, think of it as a blusher in the middle and a bronzer at the outside. So I'm going to take my bronzer. Now, obviously, it's a bit difficult not to catch the... It's a bit tricky not catching the blush in the middle, right? But I'm going to take it carefully around the edge so that I only catch the swish shade, right? And then tap it off, and I'm going to use that as a bronzer. Just in case anybody fancies the idea of getting the Climax Cheek to Cheek blush but thinks it's probably going to be too dark for me. It's often modelled by very dark skin tones. This is just another way of using it. A 2-in-1. So I'm putting it on with a bronzer brush, which you can't get anymore. Now, if you order a blush brush, it's called a blush and bronzer brush, and you get that. But she used to have that. And that used to be £60 just for that. But she stopped doing that one now. And I love this brush. Right. I'm going to take a bit more. So again, I'm just tapping off the excess. And I'm going to just take that round. So I'm just using it as a bronzer. That outside shade. You see, it's really quite a nice bronzer. It's not too orange. And I'm just thinking of my sister. My sister's very scared of bronzers, aren't you, sis? Because you don't want to look too orange. This one would not make you look too orange. Then I'm going to take the blush brush, and I'm going to use the pop shade as a blusher. So now that's easier to get in there. And this actually goes very well. This blush goes very well with the Pillow Talk look. And I think it's suggested as a darker version of the Pillow Talk look. I know she's got Pillow Talk Intense blush, but this would work equally. Don't you see? I'll just take a little bit more. With that, see, with a light hand, yes, Stacey, you could use... As I said, this is a way, if you've got fairer skin, you could use it with a lighter hand. The actual blush is not that dark. Look. The actual blush is not that dark. And if you think of the outside swish not as a blush but as a bronzer, then it's fine. Look, there's the swish. And there's the pop. It's only when you start using that more as a blush that it becomes like a darker blush. But if you use that as a bronzer and that as a blush, it's not actually that dark. So yes, if you like it. I didn't buy the first one, First Love, for years. And you know it's one of my favourites now. Because it's just, I thought, oh, I'm too dark for that. But it actually looks so natural that I use it all the time now. It's the one that, I mean, you can see this one was probably, I think, the last that I got before. Yeah, before it wasn't, I said First Love was the last one. It wasn't. It was the second to last. This one was the last one I got. But you can see this one doesn't look like it's hardly been touched. Whereas First Love, I need to get a new one. So yeah, so just use the swish as a bronzer and use the pop as the blush. rather than using both as the blush. Yeah? Now, what I'm going to do, now I keep saying to people, you know that I love Pillow Talk Intense lipstick. And so for this look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on Pillow Talk Original Lip Liner as a base. And then put this on over the top. So that if you think, yeah, I do like the fact that this is a kissing formula and it's the creamiest lipstick. It really is one of my favourites. You know, I bang on about it all the time. Pillow Talk Intense. And it's the only kissing lipstick that she does in the Pillow Talk trio. The other two are Matte Revolution. Right? But it's the darkest one. So I'm going to show you, if you're lighter and you think, yes, I really like the creaminess of that, but it's too dark for me, I'm actually going to show you today what I always go on about, which is just put the original Pillow Talk underneath. Don't just line the lip. You bought it on my recommendation. Great. Do you love it? I need a sharpener. Where's my sharpener? Did I put it away? Look, I really need, you do love it. Okay, just what, hold on a second. I've just got to get a sharpener. One thing I've discovered is I have got another sharpener that I love, which is by Daniel Sandler. But for some reason, it's got the two sizes. But for some reason, it doesn't work with Charlotte's Colour Chameleons. They must be wider than a lot of other chunky eye pencils. Right, better. I'm trying not to show you my teeth because they're in a right state. Right, a good all-over coating of, oh, look, watering eye again. Right, of Pillow Talk Original Lip Liner. Now I'm going to put on the Intense Pillow Talk. And I'm going to give it a good schmuzz around. And this will lighten it up to a kind of a medium Pillow Talk. But you get the kissing formula. And I'm dabbing it, so I'm not completely saturating the colour. I love Charlotte's sharpener as well. Yes, you can try it when you see me next. Definitely. I bet you're going to end up buying that eyeshadow quad, Lucy. That's my sister. By the way, for all of you that are new, Lucy on here is my sister. And I've got her buying so much makeup recently. Lucy Taff. So, Lucy, remember I said that's what it will look like, the Pillow Talk Intense, if you put the original lip liner. And I've got loads of spares of these. So if you haven't got the original lip liner, I think you got it in that kit, though, that I got you for Christmas. But if not, I've got a lip liner spare, right, that you can have. And then you put can you see how that just makes it, it just makes it really interesting. It's not quite Pillow Talk medium. Just makes it very interesting colour. So that is the look I'm going to put on my mascara afterwards. thank you everyone for joining me. And I'm going to just quickly run through and say hello to as many people as I can see. Hello, Stacey. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Shahina. Hello, Julie H. Hello, Helen Loves to Laugh. Hello, Aisha. Hello. I'm looking for new names. Hello, Emma, Sunshine. Hello. I'm going to look back at a lot of your comments afterwards. And then have a look at my pinned comment afterwards, because I'm going to actually review some of these comments afterwards. Hello, Janelle. Hello. Hello, Nina. Anyone else? Julie H, hello. Right, it's only taken me back to, definitely the lipstick then, Stacey. I will see if I can get that too. Then it won't let me look at any further comments. So, hello, and thank you for joining me. And if you're watching me on replay, thank you too. I know that there's quite a few of you. And I know that also there are people that watch me that don't comment. So thank you. I love you all. Don't forget to like the live, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch me. And also, don't forget to like and do tell your friends about me. And I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Love you all. Mwah.